Hi, this is Dale Bertrand from Fire&Spark. I want to talk about some productivity hacks that work well for me, and hopefully they're useful for you. The first one is that I have some metrics that I need to hit every week. These are activities that I need to do to know that I'm having a good week. What I love about having this list every week is that as soon as I check them off, I know I'm having a good week. A lot of times before I had this type of checklist, I would do a lot of stuff and still feel like I had 50 other things on my plate that I hadn't got to that week. So at the end of every week, I felt like I was failing. And it's because it was impossible for me to do everything by the end of the week. Now, what I do is I focus on these metrics. I need to call two partners. I need to send two emails to two high value contacts. I need to send a marketing email, write a content brief that I send to Rachel, our writer. So there's a number of these things. Even I have on here, reach out to a friend. Seth, I reached out to him, but I haven't heard from you yet, buddy. So what I love about this is when I get them done at the end of the week, like I'm done. Like I had a good week because I got my tasks done. And I love that Elena is able to fill this out every week and give me some names like who I should reach out to. She knows better than I do, like who needs a call or who needs an email. I mean, it's great. This works really well for me. And what this ends up looking like is like it relieves my stress and I get results. It relieves my stress because I can have a good week and know that I had a good week, go home and enjoy the weekend with my family. But in terms of getting results, like I'm calling partners on a regular basis, I'm emailing contacts on a regular basis. Like it's just such a nice regular cadence that I see results from it. Now, next, I ask myself how much time each task is worth. I think this is huge. So a lot of times we have big tasks on our plate. Like for me, it's when I'm putting together a brand new conference talk, which could take me many hours. I put 100 hours into one of my inbound talks. So when you have a task like that, it just crowds everything out. There's a lot of other things that don't get done, and that could be a mess if you're not prioritizing properly. The way I like to prioritize is to look at all of the tasks that I'll be doing for my week, and I'll do this during my Monday planning session. And for each task, I'll say, how much is it worth? Now, I'm not asking myself how long I think the task will take. I'm asking how much time is the task worth? And the reason why that's important is because it might be a task that would take me all day if I ask the question how long it takes, but it's not worth an entire day because I have so many other things that I need to do. Maybe that task is only worth an hour. And when I've identified that it's worth an hour, then I've got to figure out, all right, how am I going to get this done in an hour? Maybe I only do the most important piece of that task, or I try to find a better way to get that task done, or I just don't do 90% of it. But that's okay too, because it's not worth the entire day. That's why I love that question when I'm doing my Monday morning planning. Now, the next thing, I actually put this out on LinkedIn, but Elena helps me with this, where she'll send me a list of the meetings that I have either for a day or a week or maybe a couple weeks. And what she tells me to do is I have to sort them in priority order. So in this case, I was flying to San Diego and I couldn't miss my flight. So that was the most important thing. But then there are a number of sales calls. Now, a couple of those sales calls were really important, so they make it to the top of the list. And then there was one sales call with, we'll call them brand C, that I just didn't need to be on that call. So I put it towards the end of the list. And then Elena's really good at getting a couple of these items, whatever's at the bottom of the list, off my plate. Now, if Elena had asked me, is this call important for any individual call or meeting that I have? I would say, sure, yeah, I should be there. I should do it. But this rank sorting exercise forces me to prioritize them because something needs to be at the bottom of the list. And I know Elena and I are going to have a conversation about whether I should be doing that thing at all. And that's been extremely helpful for me. And then the last thing is using AI, a tool like ChatGPT in this case with GPT-4, and I'll give it a list of tasks and I'll say, how can AI help me with these tasks? Now, a lot of what it gives me isn't that helpful, or I just don't want to use it in that way. But there's always one or two gems in there where I have an aha moment and say, oh, I didn't know that GPT-4 could help me generate images, or GPT-4 could take a look at that website and use some fancy OCR to figure out what's going on there. So I love doing this because every time I do it, I learn something new, and it's a new way for me to use AI for my tasks that I didn't know about. So maybe you can adopt one of these, and maybe it helps you with your busyness if you're as busy as I am. But I hope it works out for you.